I'm Caitlin Ellis with the Corona Chronicles, and today I have a returning guest, Jenn Brian. How are you doing?
I am fantastic, Caitlin. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, and it's so great to have you on again. And just kind of as an overview today for the people that haven't joined, can you please tell us a little bit about you?
Absolutely. So I have been in education on and off for the past 18 years, and I'm a business owner as well as a TV host of the next chapter of Jenn Brian. And I'm also Dean of Stacktown Underground and Opportunities Pathway.
That's great. And actually, can you tell our audience next, what inspired you to get into these different avenues?
Well, my personal experiences, I think, really led the way, wanting to understand why people do what they do at the end of the day. And I went back into education this past year, and I did independent studies special ed, and to see the disconnect of the students and the need that was there, and to be able to reflect on my experiences, like I didn't remember how hard it was to teach, and much less distance learning, much less so many grade levels, and the severity of being isolated for 2 years and the mental health issues that would accompany the students that were not there before.
What is Opportunities Pathway?
So Opportunities Pathway is something that I created with you, and it is with Stacktown Underground. So you came to me in March and asked me if I wanted to be Dean of Stacktown Underground, which is your nonprofit where you're able to help educate others that are trying to get back into the workforce or are special needs or have aged out of the foster care system. And you have a platform that you've had for 4 years to be able to train them in media and different avenues, lighting, audio. And I took that idea and kind of asked if I could be able to expand upon it. And as I saw the need and I was talking to my students throughout the year, I realized where we fell short in education. And I, with your permission, launched Opportunities Pathway, which is a way to bridge the gap for special ed and foster youth after they graduate. And so many of these kids are not prepared for the real world. And we forget that these are the most vulnerable sector of society. And being able to create a program where we're able to support and expose them to trades and different opportunities that they wouldn't have otherwise was kind of like at the forefront of my mind, because most of my seniors had no clue what they were going to do. And the more I asked people around me, about graduation and in different industries, they said that they sat on the couch for 2 years after graduation and they wish they would have had this opportunity to do something. And they wish that someone would have told them they didn't have to go to a 4-year school, because a lot of these students struggle with school, but they do really well with hands-on activities. And so to be able to kind of bridge that gap became, how do you make it so these students actually have those opportunities? And when they go into high school, CTE is geared for students. They have to pick freshman year, and if they don't sign up for those classes, they can't take any more of those classes, where it's culinary or it's welding or any of that stuff. Well, they don't have welding actually anymore, but my point being is whatever pathway they want to go on, they have to decide freshman year, and they can't take any other classes if they don't start on that. And that's not really realistic. If you have an IEP, most of the time you don't get electives your freshman year. So these students are being excluded and marginalized from education and being actually exposed to anything that they could do after high school that interests them. So being able to give these students these opportunities their senior year, and then transitioning them into giving them internships, and then having that support in college became kind of where the Opportunities Pathway, a different opportunity than like what they currently had, came to be.
And can you please tell our audience next, how did you become involved in Opportunities Pathway?
So I saw there was a need for our students, and I was able to collaborate with another teacher in another school district that actually runs the STEM Academy, where he does hands-on manufacturing, welding, like being able to give these students these opportunities to have access to the trades. And I was so frustrated this past school year that I wanted to quit. And day 2 of the school year, I was like, I can't do this. And my best friend said to me, he's like, what are these kids going to do if you're not there though? Like, who's going to help them and who's going to support them? And I had to dig really deep and get through the school year. And I met another teacher that, wanted to do something different and was able to think outside the box. And he himself had struggled and with special needs in high school and didn't like school, but he found like the trades and being able to weld and work with his hands and automotive. And the more we collaborated on this, the more Opportunities Pathways seemed like we needed to create something where we gave these students access and opportunities that they wouldn't have otherwise. And so having students mentor and being able to support their students and work together collaboratively became kind of like where when like the STEM Academy meets special ed combined, and how do you create something better and innovative and new that hasn't happened before? And so Opportunities Pathway became the bridge between the two worlds.
That's amazing. And since today, when Opportunities Pathway started and now, how has it evolved?
It has evolved in crazy ways, actually. We've actually launched the program this summer. So I had some of my former students that recently graduated from independent study special ed. So they had not been around any students in 2 years, come into our program, the camp that we partnered up with a school in Long Beach. And then we partnered with Long Beach City College to actually have those students come in and work with the other students in the STEM Academy, and then be able to take college classes that are hands-on and be able to collaborate and innovate. And these students had never like been able to do any of this stuff or had any of these opportunities because the school district they're in didn't offer anything like this. And it was life-changing for these kids, because like not only did they have to apply to college and I had to sit there with them, which was so painstaking. People don't realize how overwhelming and hard it really is, because like, you know, myself, my dad did all my college applications and didn't let me touch them. So to sit there with them and see how hard it really was, I wanted to make it easier and bridge that gap in pathways. So now we're able to we're on the pathway now to collaborate with different school districts and bring them to the college for dual enrollment, where they're going to be able to have access to a special ed teacher such as myself, in addition to a trade program. And so they're going to be able to take classes where they are exposed to different trades. And then after graduation, intern, and then actually enroll in college and pursue a trade if they want to, because they have now those opportunities and access that they didn't have otherwise.
What inspired you specifically to work with kids with disabilities?
Well, myself, I've always struggled with math. Like I took Algebra 1 3 times, and you know, as educated as I may be, there's always that struggle of I thought back to my childhood, and I have a half brother and he's special needs. And growing up, you know, that was something that was near and dear to my heart. And in education, I realized very early on the difference you can make and the impact you can make, because most of the kids I worked with over the years were expelled. I taught continuation school or non-public school, and they were the forgotten ones, the most vulnerable sector of society, the most likely to be incarcerated. And it inspired me to see how you could change a student's life by actually giving them hope and giving them a different pathway. And when I was thinking about Opportunities Pathway, I went back to my years of continuation school, where these kids thrived when they were actually given the trades. They had culinary, they had automotive, they had classes that they weren't offered at the high school. And now they were showing up for school because they were interested and actually got the hands-on trade. Well, the only way they got to do that is if they got expelled. And that was the unfortunate part of like, why are we not giving these students access to this? Why did we take out all these classes from high school? Like, why is it that we are not exposing our students to different trades? Because not everyone's going to go to college, and when they don't have those opportunities, they are more likely to end up back in the system, which is systemic like incarceration, basically, and poverty. And most of the students that, you know, over the years, like don't know that there's another path because they never seen it. The American dream seems like it's unattainable, but if we bridge the gap and actually make this special again, like they get these opportunities, like that gives them so much hope. And like seeing the students the past couple of weeks and how excited they were, and like their self-esteem, and just like it was amazing to see how that came to be. And so my love of special ed and working with students is like because the hope that you give these students and how you can change their life. And when they come back to you later and say, thank you for not giving up on me, it really does like inspire you to keep doing the things you're doing, even though it is absolutely painstaking in the moment.
And can you please tell our audience next, with the mission of Opportunities Pathway, what does it mean to you specifically?
It means being able to pursue the American dream and being able to have those opportunities to do more with your life. Because, you know, so many of us don't know what we're going to do. We change courses and careers several times over a lifetime. We change majors in college. And the idea that we're forcing students to pick a pathway when they're 14 years old and then they can't access education. That's just insane to me. So this is being able to bridge that gap that this sector is excluded from basically all through high school, and then giving them the support and options for afterwards. Like, why would these students not want to take these classes when they get to collaborate? They get to go to the college afterwards, they get to intern on a film media set, be able to pursue that, get paid, and then actually be able to pick what they want to do with their life and have that additional support, because these students need that extra level of support. They have consistency across the board, and I think that we're able to bridge the gap in education where we fall short right now.
And at this time, is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience?
Being able to create this has been one of the most painstaking and exhausting and life-changing things I think I've ever done. It's given me hope, though, again, that we can actually restore that excitement in education and be able to create productive and successful members of society again, and be able to actually bring back trades and be able to give these students like more than what they're currently getting, which is not a whole lot of help and support. And I love the fact that we can affect change and scale this, like, you know, for the entire country if like people get on board with it, because we need to do more for our students if we want a better society. And the best way we can start is on the ground floor and give these kids hope and opportunities.
And if anybody would like to find out more about Opportunities Pathway, or even if they would like to become involved, where can they go?
You can find us on Instagram, or you can find me, Jenn Brian.
Well, again, I want to thank you for joining us again. It was great to have you again. It's always great to catch up and see how Opportunities Pathway has evolved. I'm Caitlin Ellis, the Sacktown Insider, Rogue Edition, Corona Chronicles.